actually works with experimental as well. I think that the dynamic benefit and the experiential benefit for a donor is the opportunity to share this with their family. There's a lot of people in this room whose parents are involved or whose grandparents are involved, and I know that's where there's a real connection there. So from a donor, to have something, to have a conversation about Judaism, about Zionism, about Israel, to have with your family, and to see them pick that up. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in this room, when they think about their grandparents, and JNF is part of that conversation, or part of that emotional feeling. So I think that adds a level of dynamic, and also experiencing Israel as a family together is crucial, and something JNF allows.
Yeah, I think it's also kind of cool, and how we affect people that aren't part of Israel. You go back to the Bedouins, and the gentleman who spoke to us, I was told he used to be kind of like a hard ass, and he wasn't such a happy guy. He didn't like us. But after we did what we did there and helped them out, he smiles, and he's happy when he sees us. And they were ostracized by the other Bedouin communities for taking our help, but they see the benefit in what we do with them and sees us as partners now. And that's amazing. That's awesome, because not a lot of Jewish charities are going to help out people that aren't Jewish. Because they're part of Israel, we're helping them out.
You see it as a greater good. I know that's something you touched on before.
Yeah, and it's, there's a similarity with what you're saying, so what Adam said about leaving the world better than you found it, and also the greater good, that by investing in Israel, you can make the world a better place. And that we live in a world where Israel is not seen as making the world a better place. And if we put the money, we can do it. And you saw, like, the government of China came to this town of 3,000 people. 3,000 people. They came there to make their country better, not just to meet a greed. And that's my answer to the world. In a world where there's not much of an answer, right?
Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, just very quickly. I think that I understand why, based on the definition, the word caretaker is part of our mission statement, right? But the implications of it are different. I think when you think of a caretaker, you don't think of someone who leaves something better than they found it. It's someone who makes sure things stay the same. And I think that's fundamental. But I think that's kind of the break in the link between the past generations and our generation. Is that to us the word caretaker isn't about a better future. It's about things being the same.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It just occurred to me when you said that. I never consciously thought of it, but I never liked that in the
Mission statement?
because it doesn't imply ownership necessarily.
Well,
The caretaker is someone who might be watching it for someone else. I don't know. It doesn't. It's counter to the basic.
The definition is
That's exactly what I wanted to say. I think Heather hit on the point of ownership. I think the way to appeal to donors and the way to, I read the questions after donating to or working with JNF, how a brand changes a person. I think the brand changes someone maybe 13 to someone who's the age of 97 when they see that they own a tree or they actually own a parcel of land in the state of Israel. I think it changes you as a person when all of a sudden you feel like an owner. You start thinking like an owner. You start, whether it's putting your name on the building, whether it's, knowing that you have a brick here or you have a grandparent whose name is, over here. You feel like you're visiting a part of your home. It's different if you put your money in a blind pool with a lot of other funds, and you say, okay, I definitely have a brick somewhere in this place. But it's very different to say, okay, now I have a certificate which says I'm an owner. I can probably find my tree in XYZ forest, and now I think your psyche changes. You start thinking differently. You say, I have an owner, now I have an interest in that land. So, it's the tangible benefits of having that, which I think change a lot when that's the case.
I agree. And I'll give you the last one, Ben, so we can wrap it up.
That's fine. But your ownership is a function. Your ownership is a function of your building. The common thing here is really building for the future, right? So yeah, you think of an owner only because you're building. And we're talking about the differences in this slogan. The key thing for me is the differences between adjectives and verbs, right? Yeah. When we talk about adjectives, someone said, oh, you're the caretaker, and one person said, no, that doesn't resonate with me for a partner. Another person said, no, you're a caretaker because you have that responsibility. People view adjectives in a different way, but the verb's the same, you're building. For the same, building for whom? Well, that's personal reasons. Some might think we're building for the true owners, the Jews, right? Some might think we're building for a better world. The common theme is building